Hello, everyone, and welcome to the yet another session of Current Affairs Important Events. Today, we are going to cover all the important events from the October week 3 period, which is from October 18 to October 24th. So let's go ahead and begin the session, and let's try to understand what all happened in the country and across the globe in the last 1 week. We are going to cover the most important of the events which happened in the last 1 week. So, to begin with, on the international front, India, United States, Israel, and United Arab Emirates came together to form a second Quad. The first Quad was formed earlier between India, US, Japan, and Australia. Now, this is the second Quad, and this is going to be a strategic partnership to be the new influencers in the West Asia and Eastern Mediterranean region. The group is also described as International Forum for Economic Cooperation, and this group is designed to work together on joint infrastructure projects between the four countries. And each member country also agreed to appoint a senior level bureaucrat to be part of the joint working group. So the first meeting of the group was held on 18th of October with Foreign Minister, our External Minister S. Jaishankar representing the country, along with Israel's Foreign Minister Yair Lapid and US Secretary of State Blinken, and with the presence of United Arab Emirates Foreign Minister Abi Zayed. The the objective of the group is to have close cooperation on trade, technology, big data, and maritime security. So that's an important international development which we can see in the last 1 week. India achieved 100 crore COVID 19 vaccination shots on October 21st, 2021. And we are now only behind China, which has already administered more than 200 crore doses so far. If you look in terms of absolute numbers, 28 crore of the population, which was eligible for vaccination, 18 plus group, has now been fully vaccinated, and approximately 76% of our eligible population has received at least one dose. So currently, if we talk about the status of the COVID vaccination, and we have three vaccines. We have Covaxin, we have Sputnik, we have Covishield available. Well, majority of the population has been given Covishields. That's a huge number. The first 50 doses, right from the time the vaccination started, the first 50 doses were administered in the 200 days, but it took only 76 days to reach to the 100 mark figure, which means the next 50 crore doses were given in only 76 days. It is worthwhile to note that a record 2.5 crore doses were administered on 17th of September 2021. That was the day when maximum number of vaccination happened across the country. So that's a significant landmark, and I'm sure this will help, if not occurrence of the third wave, but definitely will be able to delay the third wave. Anyways, third wave is not likely to be as severe as the second wave or the first wave, but it is up to the population to take the precautions, which is very, very important. India and Israel agreed to renew the free trade area agreement in November and to start with the negotiations. The negotiations will start in the month of November, and it is expected that the agreement will be ready by mid of 2022. In fact, the year 2022 also marks the 30th year of bilateral relations between India and Israel. In the same meeting, the two countries also agreed to recognize the COVID-19 vaccination certificates of each other's. And the meeting was held between India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar and his Israeli counterpart, Yair Lapid. The first Earthshot Prize, also known as Eco Oscar, which has been instituted by Prince Williams, was awarded under the 5 categories. And to our pleasure, the Delhi-based startup Takachar has won the first ever Earthshot Prize along with 4 others. So it is the first Indian company to win the award. And the prize reward for the Earthshot prize is £1 million, which is given for developing groundbreaking, path-breaking solutions to the world's greatest environmental challenges. Takachar, which is a Delhi-based startup, was founded by Kevin Zhang and Vidyut Mohan, and they have won the prize in Clean Our Air category for the technology they have developed, which can create fuel and fertilizers from the agricultural waste. The winners in other categories, which includes Revive Our Oceans, that's one of the categories. The winner in this category is Coral Vita from Bahamas. The next category was Build a Waste-Free World, and this all these categories has been defined on the basis of sustainability. So in the category of Build a Waste-Free World, the city of Milan Food Waste Hubs, Italy, won the prize. In the category Fix Our Climate, AEM electrolyzers in Thailand, Germany, and Italy grabbed the prize. And under the category Protect and Restore Our Nature, Costa Rica actually received the prize. So this is the first year in which these prizes have been distributed. The EcoShot prize was constituted last year in 2020, and 2021 is the first year when the prizes have been distributed. And it's definitely a pleasure to have an Indian company out there winning the prize. Supreme Court has asked the central government to file an affidavit explaining how the criteria of fixing the income of rupees 8 lakh was decided as far as the EWS quota is concerned. The bench of Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Vikram Nath, and B.V. Nagaratna raised the question to the government of India as to how this criteria is same and whether any exercise is same for both EWS and NCOBC category, and how was there any exercise conducted? What was the thought behind deciding this basis for fixing rupees 8 lakhs for granting the reservations under the economically weaker sections quota? So it is worth noting here that EWS category was introduced, and for that the income has been fixed at rupees 8 lakh or less. So there are certain other criterias as well. And talking about Justice B.B. Nagaratna, who is also on the bench, she is likely to become the first female Chief Justice of India in 2027. That's an important information that you must remember. Moving ahead, the government of India is planning to make flex engines mandatory in the next 6 months. In a recent event, the Minister of Transport, Nitin Gadkari, announced this. What are flex engines actually all about? Basically, the flex engines can run on more than one fuel. Looking at the global price rises, the impact which it has on the countries like India, where the prices of the petroleum product has been increasing over the last 6 months, and it is costing the exchequer almost lakhs of crores every year, alternatives are being looked into. And they have really become necessary to reduce the dependency of the import of the petroleum products. Ethanol, CNG, electric, bio-LNG, these are some of the alternatives, and the government is already in consultation with the vehicle manufacturers, and it is likely to make it mandatory that all the new vehicles in next 6 months period or probably after that, once it becomes a mandatory, do have flexible engines where they can run on more than one particular fuel. On the international front, our neighboring country, Sri Lanka, has sought a $5 million credit line from India to pay off its fuel purchases, to pay the bills of its fuel purchases amidst severe foreign exchange crisis in Sri Lanka. The state-owned petroleum company, Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, already owes nearly $3.3 billion to the two main government banks of Sri Lanka, that is Bank of Ceylon and People's Bank. This credit has been sought under India-Sri Lanka Economic Cooperation Agreement, and it is important to note here that Sri Lanka's oil bill has jumped 41% to $2 billion in the very first 7 months compared to the same period last year. So it is increasingly becoming difficult to pay off those dues, and for the same reason, Sri Lanka is seeking India's help to extend a $500 million credit to them. On the business front, the Paytm gets nod for the initial public for the IPO initial public offering of almost 16,600 crore rupees. The parent company of Paytm is 197 Communication, and they filed the requisite papers with the SEBI, the Security Exchange Board, and SEBI has cleared this, and now Paytm is all set to raise 16,600 crore from the market. Out of that 16,600 crore, 50%, which means 8,300 crore rupees, will be raised through fresh equity of fresh issue of the equity shares, and the rest of the 50% or rupees 8,300 crore would be raised through offer for sale route. The IPO is expected anytime in November and will be the largest IPO till now in India. Earlier, Coal India's IPO in 2001, which was 2010, which was about rupees 15,475 crore, was the largest IPO the country saw. In the last 1 year, if you talk about Zomato's IPO, which was about rupees 9,375 crore, was biggest IPO in this particular year till now, and it was the biggest since 2010 Coal India IPO actually. So for almost a decade, no such big IPOs were there actually, and one thing is very important to note here is LIC, the Life Insurance Corporation of India, is also planning to come out with the IPO and to raise money from the market. And no doubt it will be the biggest IPO India will ever see in near future. On the other side, it is also important, apart from those events, it is also important to know some of the other events which unfolded in the last 1 week. So on a in the World Cup, T20 World Cup, Pakistan for the first time defeated India. This was the 13th encounter between the two countries, between the arch rivals. In the earlier 12 occasions, India managed to defeat Pakistan, but yesterday on 24th of October, Pakistan managed to defeat India by 10 wickets in the World Cup encounter. India plans to send 50,000 metric ton of wheat to Afghanistan, which is already reeling under severe food crisis. The key farm produce exports increased 80% to $10 billion in the first half of this particular year. Russia breaks all diplomatic engagements with the NATO, and Facebook has agreed to pay French publishers for the new content. This issue has been there for a long time now, and finally, the Facebook agreed to pay for the new content to the French publishers. And on our neighboring country, China tested new space capabilities using hypersonic missile. So those were the important events of the last week. So every week we bring to you all the important news, all the important events, and we discuss it here. So stay tuned and do subscribe to our channel to get such regular updates. Also, please do subscribe to our other social media handles to receive interesting and regular updates on a regular basis. Thank you so much.